Yo, what's up, guys? So today I'm gonna talk about the brutal truth about wealth that nobody wants to hear. So let's get right into it, guys. So number one, before we get into number one, the problem is, throughout our lives, we always, I think we've been lied to about money. A lot of everyone tells us, work hard, save your money, then retire. You know, like it can happen, but it's the slowest path to wealth. And right now in the economy we're living in, that's not the case anymore. Maybe back 20, 30 years ago, you could work hard, you could save your money, and you could retire. But nowadays, it's borderline impossible. Every time you work hard and every time you try to have a new life goal, maybe you try to buy a house, maybe you try to start a family, maybe you try to buy a new car, maybe you try to go on, add in a vacation, or maybe buy a cottage or a vacation rental. It's like your money is just constantly being eaten away. Like, how do you save? It's very hard to save. You almost have to live like a hermit. You have to like almost eat rice and beans and live in a cave in order to save, a little bit of money, in order to save something. It's very tough in this economy nowadays. So the whole mindset of working hard, saving, and then retiring, it's like a dream nowadays. So the number one, guys, let's get right into the video, is that hard work isn't enough anymore. You have to have scalable systems. You have to be able to have a skill set, things that scale for you when you're not working, because if you don't have any scalable systems, hard work is going to keep you in the rat race. It's going to keep you in a hamster wheel. It's going to continue to keep you living paycheck to paycheck, living, like you can't really make any kind of different moves just with the hard work alone. You have to have scalable systems, things that work for you when you're not there. Something that you work on for 5 6 months, maybe a couple years. You put it there, whatever it is. It could be a business, it could be certain assets, and then after that you can be hands off and now scaling without you. And or even a skill set. You building that skill set up, so now you have all this, you have all the knowledge, you have the materials, you have everything you need in your brain or physical, whatever skill set it is that you now can get paid from. So it's scalable systems. And then number two, guys, we're also programmed to consume. We're programmed to be consumers. Society trains people to be perfect customers, not creators. So we're always buying things. Ads are being ran. The amount of ads that you're seeing every day, like you can't even really pick up your phone and go and on anything without there being something pushed towards you to see it's an ad. Buy this, buy that, this new product, this new thing. You're driving around, you're on your way to work, there's like 1,000 billboards, buy this, buy that, 1,000 restaurants, this is for sale, that's for sale. Everyone wants your money. The money you go out to work, and you whatever job you have, you could be breaking your neck. They want your money. Every store, every product, every whatever brand wants your money. They want the thing that you work so hard to get. But if you think about it, and instead of being a consumer and you turn yourself into being a creator, right? Now instead of buying restaurant food, you're making your own food. Now, maybe, okay, you have to spend a little bit of money on bulk material at the grocery store, but you're creating your own food. You like fries at McDonald's, make your own fries. You like burgers at McDonald's, make your own burger. You like to, maybe you like to shop, buy clothing, do all that, everything. But sometimes you don't always have to buy the clothing. Maybe you have a bigger goal. Maybe you want to buy a house. Instead of buying the clothing now, save the money for, if that clothing, if that t-shirt costs $50, take the $50 and put it into your bank account. Say, you know what, I was gonna spend 50 on this shirt. I'm gonna put it towards my bank account so I could buy my house later on. Or I want to buy that car, so I'm gonna save the money that I was gonna go and buy, this new phone. I'm gonna put that back in my bank account, and then I'm gonna eventually have enough money to buy a car. You have to become a creator instead of a consumer. You can do. There's a lot of things you can create on your own. You don't have to be a consumer, and society trains us to be consumers. So the best thing you could do is spend less than you earn and funnel the difference into things that are gonna help produce you more money in the long run, or not even just help you produce more money, but be a shelter for your money. Like a house, you're building equity. You know, a car is going to get you to and from places, you know, and you can sell it later on. As long as you get a good car like Honda, Toyota, these cars you can buy for $20,000. In 10 years, you drove it to maybe, you know, 200,000 kilometers, maybe 100,000 miles. You could still sell it for like 16, 15, 14,000, 3, 4,000 less dollars if you keep it in really good condition. You have to think smart with your money. And then number three, your circle matters. So, you know, if your friends are always talking about what they bought instead of what they built, your mindset will sync with them. So if you're constantly talking to people, it doesn't even have to be your friends. It could be anybody like coworkers, whoever. If they're constantly coming to work and you're hearing, you know, I just bought this and I just bought that. I just bought this new gadget. I just bought this new AirPods. I just bought this thing right here, this little cool thing, you know. I just bought this bicycle. If you're hearing about this stuff and you're trying to build wealth and you're trying to save your money, it's very it's very tough. You know, it's very um it's not something that you want to hear, especially when you're like you're saving hundreds and hundreds of dollars, or maybe you're saving like, you know, you got paid this week and then all you could save is like $80, but you're in your mind you're like, you know, I'm saving this eventually to go back, you know, and to school and do a course, or maybe I'm saving this so I can add this to my down payment or something, you know, and you're not, maybe it's not a lot, but it's $80. And then you're hearing your coworkers, your friends, and they're talking about they just bought these new shoes. It's just like, you know, is the $80 that I saved gonna even do anything? Maybe I was just better off spending the $80 on, you know, a movie ticket and dinner on a Friday night. That might have been better instead of saving this $80, because everyone seems to be having such fun. Everyone's having such fun with their money, but I'm sitting here trying to save $80. So you have to be careful what you're listening to from the people around you, because that's not going to help motivate you to continue to save that $80. So if you're putting that $80 in every couple of weeks, that's 160 every month. Eventually over the year, it'll be like 2,000, and you'll be like, I was only saving like $80. Now I have like 2.2 thousand. And if you invested that money, that would have been maybe even almost 3,000. And then now you can go and buy that new shoes or whatever you want eventually after delayed gratification. So you have to be careful who you're listening to around your circle, because they're going to help influence your decisions. So sometimes you need to be by yourself. You don't need to be hearing everyone else what they're doing, because you don't want to be influenced that way. You have a different path. You know, somebody does this, you do the other thing. You don't always have to follow the pack, because if you follow the pack, you're going to be like the rest of the pack. So your circle matters. Number four, comfort isn't the enemy. So choosing comfort is the enemy. So choosing comfort over risk is going to keep you broke. Real wealth is calculated risks and delayed gratification. So comfort, another thing, comfort, right? We want to stay in bed, we want to sleep until 1 p.m. and then we want to go to bed around 2, 3 a.m. That is going to destroy our REM cycle sleep. It's going to cause you to have groggy sleep and then, you know, wake up unrefreshed. You're choosing comfort. You want to stay in the bed. You know, you don't want to go to sleep on time. Going to sleep on time is tough. No, not a lot of people want to go to sleep on time. They don't want to go to sleep at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, especially when you're young in your 20s, when everything's going on outside, there's parties, everything is fun. A lot of us don't want to go to sleep on time. We want to stay up until 2, 3 a.m. But if you go to sleep on time, your brain is going to wake up the next day refreshed. You know, even just, not even just only sleep, but it's also with taking risks, you know, starting that business that you said was so tough, you know, putting in the time, putting in the effort to do your research on financial markets, on tax, how you can save tax, how you can save on tax, you know. Um, a lot of people, you know, we spend a lot of money throughout the year, and then when tax time comes, you know, some of us have to owe the government back money. But if you did your research and how you can get tax breaks, tax shelters, you know, things that you can invest in, you know, maybe a side business, and you can claim your gas, you can claim this. Maybe you could even invest in a basic accounting course on where you can do your tax yourself, so you don't have to pay every year to get your tax done from someone else, and that can carry you on for the rest of your life. That's some stuff that's, you know, comfort. A lot of people just want to just, you know, I'm just going to get an accountant, throw my money over there. Or, you know, I'm just going to just, you know, I don't want to go to the gym, so I'm just going to get a personal trainer, throw some money over there. Sometimes you can learn this stuff yourself. And sometimes you'll have more benefit doing it by yourself, because you're catering and you're customizing your stuff to yourself. So try not to find comfort in everything. Sometimes you have to go the extra mile and take the risk. And then 5, time is your only real currency. So you can lose money and get it back, but you can't get time back, you know? So the earlier you invest, the earlier you build skills, the more compounding will work for you. So time is your only real currency, especially when you don't have a lot of money. When you don't have a lot of money, all you have is time. So build the skill set, compound, build the business. Don't worry too much about the money that you're investing in yourself, because you can always get the money back, but you cannot get the time back. Time is the most important thing we have, especially when you don't have a lot of money. You have to invest your time. So guys, if you like these tips, subscribe, like this video, comment below, and I'll see you guys later.